All right. Grand rising again, my fellow saints, fellow imaginations. Fellow Elohim, welcome to another sunny Sunday of the one great I am awakening. As you can see behind me, it's very sunny. I'm out here in Dubai, hanging out on the beaches of the world, So, but seriously, in sunny Florida, but my mind is in Dubai. You understand? I can be in two places at the same time. So, um, just broadcasting, right here in Florida and whatnot. But my mind is on Dubai. But welcome to another Sunday Sunday of the One Great I Am Awakening. I'm Chris Taylor, one of your hosts. And to my left, the brother in red and all of the gold chain them, my big brother and partner in spirit and in mind, Sir T.
Yes, sir. Greetings, grand rising to everyone. It's a pleasant morning, we just need to go deeper in mind, as the topic suggests, science shall follow, never proceed. All right, circus are going one half and a little fast move, so I'm gonna go silent because I want to come up with the camera,
Yes,
and
one.
I'll be following, all right?
All right. All right, brother. Yeah, so I have a wonderful video for you guys today, tip for you guys today, lesson from Neville. And, you know, it's a little bit long, but we're going to, splice it up throughout to cover some of the stuff that he will be mentioning. But again, we've titled today's lesson, Signs Follow, They Do Not Precede, They Do Not Come Before Certain Things. A tree does not grow without first planting the seed, something like that. The tree precedes, the seed precedes the growing of the tree. So that's what it means by signs follow. The sign is the tree, but it cannot precede the planting of the seed. So we're going to go into that today to, further sharpen our imagination, our consciousness, awareness to better align with the art of creating. Creating is an art. And our goal this year is to, concentrate primarily on sharpening our imagination and becoming more potent, elevate to the highest of our abilities, and to manifest, our heart's desires with effortless effort, you know. Um, Therefore, we come here every Sunday to continue the lessons, which helps to sharpen our imagination, helps to sharpen our consciousness, giving us marksmanship. That's what we're seeking, is to become better marksmen in anything that we aim at. We will hit the target in the bull's eye. All right. So that said, welcome everyone again. We have Laurencia, we have Charmin, we have Mark, Kizzy, myself, Sir T. Sure we'll be getting some more to join in the interim. We were not here last week, Sunday, so we skipped a week. So we're back, and we're going to get the show back on the road, full speed ahead. So that's it, guys. Let's jump into the video from Neville. We've titled it again. That's not it. What's going on here? Okay, hold on. Got to get out of this. We've titled it Signs Follow. They do not precede, they do not come before. All right, so here is the video. Let's magnify that. And then we're going to play it and come back to interject on what is said. All right, so see you shortly. Let's take a listen.
Every morning when you wake up, you stand at the gateway of creation. The world you see is nothing but a mirror, faithfully reflecting the impressions you hold within. If you would change the world outside, you must first change the words you whisper to yourself. For the spoken word is not mere sound. It is the vibrational key that unlocks the unseen and gives form to the formless. You do not need anything outside of you to begin. You need no approval, no conditions to be met. The only requirement is that you dare to assume the truth of what you desire. And so each morning, before the mind is burdened by the echoes of yesterday, speak these 5 lines to yourself, not as idle words, but as divine declarations. Speak them with conviction, for what you claim in consciousness must manifest in experience. Nothing happens to you by chance. Every event, every encounter, every opportunity is drawn to you by the assumptions you hold. The law is simple. Assume the feeling of already being what you wish to be, and the world will conform to that assumption. Say to yourself, I am the creator of my reality. Feel the weight of these words. Let them sink into your being. From this moment, you are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You are the architect of your destiny. The world is not against you. The universe is not withholding your desires. It is only responding to the frequency you emit. When you declare, everything is working in my favor, you shift the tide of energy. You move from resistance to flow, from doubt to knowing. The obstacles you once feared dissolve before you, for you now walk in the certainty that life is happening for you, not to you. You do not chase after what is already yours. The secret is not to seek, but to assume. The moment you desire a thing, it is done in the unseen. But to experience it, you must abandon the state of longing and step into the state of possession. Each morning, remind yourself, my desires are already fulfilled. Speak it, feel it, and walk as though it were true. The world will have no choice but to confirm your assumption. The only barriers that exist are the ones you have accepted as real. If you believe yourself unworthy, you will unknowingly reject the very blessings you seek. And so each day, reaffirm your worth. Declare, I am worthy of all that is good. Not someday, not after you prove yourself. Now, this moment. The universe does not measure worthiness. It reflects belief. Speak it, believe it, and let life shower you with all that is already yours. Doubt is the great thief of manifestations. The impatient mind questions, worries, and disrupts the natural flow. But the wise one knows. What is assumed with feeling must harden into fact. When you affirm, I trust the unseen process of life, you step into the rhythm of creation. You no longer question whether it is working. You know it is done. The seed has been planted and its growth is inevitable. Speak these words each morning, not as mere affirmations, but as declarations of truth. Assume them, feel them, and let them saturate your being. For as surely as the sun rises, the world must yield to the image you hold within. I am the creator of my reality. These words are not a mere statement. They are the foundation upon which your entire life is built. The world you see is nothing but a reflection of the consciousness you hold. If you believe yourself to be a victim of circumstances, tossed about by external forces, then that will be your experience. But if you awaken to the truth that you are the operant power, the sole architect of your existence, then everything must align with that realization. There is no power outside of you that dictates the conditions of your life. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Everything you see, every event you encounter, every opportunity that appears or disappears is a projection of your inner state. The world is a grand mirror, reflecting back to you the assumptions you have accepted as true. And so if you desire to change anything in your life, you do not change things, you change yourself. Your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, are the blueprints of your reality. The moment you
All right, so let's address what Never just mentioned there about, the world being your stage or a mirror reflecting back to you your inner consciousness or what you're conscious of being. Remember that you being consciousness, fundamentally, you are always being something. Whatever you are being is not who you are fundamentally. Fundamentally, you are the observer, the conscious observer, the consciousness, the awareness. But whatever you're being is what you have in mind, what you have in your thoughts, what you have attached your or crucified your being, crucified yourself to being. So that's a good thing. It's whatever it is, it's always a temporary attachment. You can move from state to state, like you move from Florida to Georgia, Georgia to, you know, North Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina, all these different states that you travel through going north or south or what have you. It's the same way you do in mine. The states are permanent, but they're not permanent for you to stay in. All that means is that these states will always be around. They will not go anywhere. They're bodies for people to occupy, dwelling place for people to occupy, or for your consciousness to occupy, but they are not who you are. They're just what you're being at the time. Right now, wherever you are, that's where you are. But you can always move from where you are to somewhere else. It's the same way it is in consciousness. So nothing is permanent. So if something is transpiring or happening, it is just a state that you have occupied, and you can move away from it. Whatever you're being and you're experiencing is just going to be a reflection, on the outer screen, so there's going to be a reflection of what you're being. You will experience it once you see the outer reflection, once you see the outer experience, right there and then, this is what you are being in consciousness, whether you are aware of it or not, whether you knew it or not, in some way, that is the vibration, that's the frequency you are giving off to the universe. The universe being your subconscious mind / superconscious. You are vibrating that frequency, and it is transmitting it, I'm projecting it right in the space of wherever wherever you are. So as we titled today's lesson, signs follow, they do not precede. What does that mean? The world being a mirror. Okay, so let's use this, the analogy of a mirror. If you want to see what you are wearing, you cannot stand in front of the mirror and think it's going to show you something different than what you're wearing. Whatever you are wearing is what's going to be reflected or shown back to you in the mirror. So do not get disgruntled or mad or sad or angry or whatever at the mirror. It's only what you are wearing the mirror is going to reflect. It's going to show exactly that. The same color, the same material, whatnot, okay? So what it is, you preceded what the mirror is reflecting. You went in your closet, got your clothes, put it on, you preceded what the mirror is showing, okay? So the mirror is just the sign. The sign follows what you have done previously, you know. So it's the same thing that whatever we're experiencing out there are in our present location. It's always something that had already happened in mind. It's always a following. It's never like it didn't come before whatever you had in mind or whatever was vibrating or whatever frequency you were emitting. It's always showing you a sign of what you're being. So that's why we says your sign follow, they do not precede. So what's preceding? The procession is what is going on, or what went on rather, past tense, what went on in your mind, you know? And if it continues to show the same thing, then you can allude to what is going on. You're still in that frequency or that state of mind. You thought you left the state of Florida, but you're still in Florida. You know, it's a big state, you know? So do not be angry. How, you know, why are you still in this state? You will always be in the state you're in until you exit that state. Okay. You will always see the signs of where you are in consciousness until you leave what you're conscious of being. Until you leave the state of Florida, you will not get to Georgia. You understand? It will never happen. It will always be in this location. In mind, it's the same thing. Whatever you're experiencing in the physical, in the outer world, and continue to experience, it has to be what you are, your dwelling place in your consciousness. It's really that elementary. It's not rocket science. You know, it's very simple. You know, so what we're doing here is just to get you guys to automatically recognize off the bat where you are in mind. Wherever you are now experiencing outwardly, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, you should automatically match, correlate the mental state. You know, you have to go back to the signs don't follow. I mean, signs follow, but something has preceded those signs. Okay? So the sign is not what precedes. Something came before it. You know, the seed was planted and up comes a tree. The tree is following the seed. All right? The tree is following the seed. So it's the same thing here. Whatever you're seeing is a sign of something that preceded it, you know? And people have questions, or they have concerns, or they have issue relating with that. Where we say things like it's the wrong place at the wrong time, bad luck, or I'm lucky, or, you know, all these different things they might say to, you know, explain why you're experiencing what you're experiencing, not realizing that it was a state of consciousness that you were in before. So it was a state of being that you were in before, as to why now whatever it is you're experiencing is confronting you. Okay? It is really that simple, really that elementary. So the world is a mirror reflecting the mental clothing that you are wearing. Just like how your mirror in your house reflects the clothing that you are currently wearing, what you must understand that you first put the clothes on. That's what preceded what the mirror reflected. Okay? The clothes, whatever the mirror is reflecting, did not precede. What preceded first was you putting on the clothing, then the mirror reflected what you first did. The mirror is just a sign. The clothing that you put on is what preceded. All right? Growing up, we never heard it said like that. conveyed to us like that. We were told that it's the devil, it is God, it is bad luck, it is wrong place at the wrong time, it is your destiny, all these different things they tell you, not realizing that you, being consciousness fundamentally, was always the one in control, but you did not know it. We have to get really good at, and sometimes you lose sight of that because you get caught up in the world and all of what's happening. But we always have to catch ourselves and come right back to, no, it's got to be I, the I being your consciousness. It's got to be, I'm the one who's doing it, or who did it, rather. That way you catch yourself and you fix the problem right there and then. If you get caught up in the melee of blaming or losing sight that you were the one that preceded in consciousness, what's happening in your experience, the outer expression of the consciousness within, you will continue to do the same thing over and over and over. So it is very important to catch yourself first and foremost before you entertain the experience. Always go back to your inner awareness, for guidance, or for to just control from right there what's going on right now. And whatever you do from that moment, it will express itself as the savior, as the one that comes to negate the preceding experience or the previous experience. Whatever you're doing now will come to cancel out, to X out what you were experiencing before. All right, so it's really, really that simple. So let's jump back into it. I know Sir T is busy, like him said, and whatnot, but he will join us or play some stuff in the chat momentarily, but he's a bit occupied at the moment. So let's get back to the rest of the audio, and we'll be right back.
Accept an idea and assume it to be true. It begins to take form in the world of facts. You may look at your current life and think that what surrounds you is simply the result of chance, but nothing is random. Every condition you face has emerged from a cause, and that cause is the state of consciousness you have occupied in the past. The great mistake is believing that things must change before you can feel differently, that you must wait for evidence before accepting something as true. But this is an inversion of the law. You must first embody the reality you seek before it can materialize. You must first claim yourself to be what you desire before the world has any choice but to confirm it. This is the secret that so few understand. The outer world is nothing more than an echo of the inner. If you wish to be prosperous, you must not dwell in the state of lack. You must not beg, hope, or wish for wealth to come to you. Instead, you must assume the feeling of already possessing it. Walk in the knowing that it is yours. Speak to yourself as one who already has all that he desires. Let your inner conversations be filled with the conviction of having, not wanting. If you persist in this assumption, the world will have no option but to rearrange itself to match your inner state. Likewise, if you desire love, you must not wait for someone to come and complete
Can you guys hear me? I think my computer went offline. Let me see if I can get back on. What happened? Ooh. Anyone out there can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but we don't hear the recording anymore.
Okay. Yes, the my computer seemed to have fallen off from the internet. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Okay, so that's back. All right, so let me sign back in. Don't go nowhere. Somehow it just chipped out. It's still not responding. Cause what? Cause after I was finished talking and then I re-engaged the audio, it just started to act up right then. So I'm not even sure what it says. Stop converting. Stop converting. Needs to convert before viewing. All right, so hold on a second. Let's all right. So let me see if I can get back on. I don't know what it is. Hold on, let me close up some of these windows. I probably got too many windows opened up. That's one reason too. Close this one. And what is this? All right, guys, just give me a few minutes and we get it back up and running. So don't go nowhere. All right, guys, coming back in. Let me see something here.
Recording in progress.
All right, so here we go again. What this is right here. Don't use video. Let's see. All right, so I'm just having some technical difficulties here. Let me see what it says on YouTube. Okay, so we're still live. All right. So we're still broadcasting on YouTube. Let me get back to the audio. So my Wi-Fi just tripped out on my computer, you know? All right, let's see. Share. It's still freezing up. Hold on. Like 30 drop off as well. All right. All right, let's see. Here we are. Sound, let's see if the sound is showing. Share sound.
Of external forces. They will say that life is hard, that struggle is necessary, that fate is unchangeable. But these are only beliefs, and as long as one holds them, they will be true in their experience. Yet the moment they are discarded and replaced with a new assumption, reality must shift. For the law is impersonal. It does not judge, it does not question, it simply reflects. And so when you rise in the morning before the noise of the world rushes in, speak these words with absolute certainty. I am the creator of my reality. Do not say them as mere affirmations repeated without feeling. Declare them with conviction. With the authority of one who knows their power, let them sink into your being. Let them become the foundation upon which every thought, every action, every decision is made. If you persist in this knowing, nothing will be impossible to you. The world will become your canvas, shaped by the images you hold within. And you will no longer live as one who reacts to life, but as one who directs it. Everything is working in my favor. This is not wishful thinking. This is not blind optimism. This is law. The moment you accept this truth, the moment you live by it, you will begin to see how the seemingly random events of life are not random at all. Every experience, every encounter, every so-called obstacle is conspiring to bring you into the fulfillment of your desires. The great mistake people make is
Can you guys hear me out there? Still having the technical difficulty. Now the screen is blank. Can you guys hear me? Let's stop sharing.
Yeah.
You guys are hearing me?
I can hear you.
Okay. But the screen went blank, right? You guys notice that? We may have to improvise for today's lesson because the computer is not responding. It says never. Okay. All right. Yeah, let me stop that. Yeah, for some reason, guys, the video, it's not even the video, it's mostly the audio. I mean the internet on my end. All right, so apologize for that, guys. I'm not sure why this is the issue with the internet. No, shows you I'm having, I think it's probably my computer more so than the internet. So, well, here's what we're gonna do. We basically got the gist of the video or the tape, the lesson with what Neville is talking about there. I really wanted you guys to hear more about this video, but I don't know. Let me see something. That's what is this? No. All right, this application never speaks. All right. Let's try one more thing here. I don't know if this, for some reason, this is a blank screen. Blank, blank, blank. Why is that? What is this? No, no. You guys are seeing a blank screen, right? Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, the screen is blank right now.
Huh. All right. Okay, guys, so it's obvious that's not going to cooperate. So what we're going to do is just improvise. I'll put the tape in the room and you guys can listen to it. But let's just start from the sense of what the topic is saying, that signs follow. They do not come before. They do not precede. They're not they're not what happened, you know, what happened is something in mind. They're just basically what you're living is the past, if that makes sense. Everything that you're seeing is what happened before, you know, so something preceded it. When you're in the movie watching a video, there's a projector that's projecting the video. So hold on. Hold on, guys.
They measure their progress by what they can see, what they can touch. And because they do not yet see the evidence of what they desire, they assume it is not coming. But this is a misunderstanding of how reality works. Everything, whether seen or unseen,
All right, so all right, so the video just popped back up out of nowhere. Can you guys see that? Did, did you guys, can you guys see the video? Okay. All right. So whatever's going on with the computer, it just chipped in. It seemed to be working. No, let me see something. Wow. All right. So let's go back to share the audio. Let me see if the audio is working.
You hold, but the process is often beyond your conscious understanding.
All right, so the audio is working. So what we're going to do, I'm going to let the tape play for a few more minutes. Then we're going to cut it for the sake of time. And then we're going to come back and close out the show for the next hour or so. All right. So really apologize for that, guys. But let's play a few more minutes of the tape. And then we'll come back to close out. Okay. So bear with me.
You may not see how everything is aligning. You may even mistake the unfolding for opposition. Yet if you persist in the knowing that everything is working in your favor, you will not be disturbed by appearances. Consider the seed that is planted in the soil. If you were to judge by what you see, you might believe that nothing is happening. You may look at the ground and think the seed is buried, forgotten, lost in the darkness. But beneath the surface, it is taking root. It is gathering strength. It is pushing through the unseen until, in the perfect moment, it breaks through into visibility. This is how manifestation works. It is not always immediate, not always obvious, but it is always in motion. Doubt is the only thing that disrupts this process. The one who trusts that everything is working in their favor will not dig up the seed in impatience. They will not question whether it is growing. They will not allow appearances to shake them. They will remain steadfast, knowing that their assumption must harden into fact. And so, when challenges arise, they do not resist them. They do not see them as setbacks, but as necessary steps in the unfolding of their vision. Most people live in a state of resistance. They react to circumstances as if they are separate from their inner world. They allow their emotions to be dictated by what they see, rather than by what they have claimed within. But the one who understands the law walks with certainty. They look at everything, even that which others would call a difficulty, and say, "This too is working in my favor." And because they assume this to be true, it becomes true. When you adopt this mindset, life begins to flow in ways you never imagined. You stop fighting against what is happening. You stop fearing the unknown. You begin to see how even the unexpected, even the things you once labeled as setbacks, are part of a larger design. What seemed like a delay was actually perfect timing. What seemed like a rejection was actually redirection. What seemed like loss was making space for something greater. This is not about forcing yourself to feel good in moments of challenge. It is about knowing deep within you that no matter how things appear, they are aligning in your favor. It is about refusing to be shaken by temporary conditions. It is about living from the end, trusting that what you have assumed is already done, and allowing the pieces to fall into place in their own perfect way. Many people abandon their desires too soon. They declare something to be true, but when the outer world does not immediately reflect it, they waver. They begin to doubt, to question, to let fear take hold, and in doing so, they undo their own manifestation. The world is always responding, always conforming, but it cannot bring you what you are not willing to persist in. If you wish to see evidence that everything is working in your favor, you must first assume it to be so. You must live as though it were already true. You must walk through life with the unshakable confidence that nothing is ever against you. Every conversation, every interaction, every seeming coincidence is part of a divine orchestration, leading you exactly where you are meant to be. When you wake each morning, remind yourself, everything is working in my favor. Say it not as a hope, but as a fact. Say it with the certainty that the unseen is always moving, always aligning, always creating the path for your highest good. When you do this, life will begin to reflect back to you the very assumption you hold. Doors will open, opportunities will arise, and what once seemed like obstacles will reveal themselves as stepping stones to your greatest fulfillment. I am a magnet for miracles. This is not a hopeful statement. This is not something to be wished for or desired. It is a reality that must be accepted as truth. The world around you is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Every event, every encounter, every so-called coincidence is a reflection of the state you occupy. When you assume yourself to be a magnet for miracles, you are not asking for life to favor you, you are commanding it to do so by the very nature of your being. Miracles are not accidents. They are not rare occurrences bestowed upon the fortunate few. They are the natural outpouring of a consciousness that aligns itself with the infinite. The problem most people face is that they believe miracles are external phenomena, things that happen outside of them, beyond their control. But the truth is, miracles begin within. They take root in the mind before they ever appear in the world of form. Everything in your life is responding to the assumptions you hold. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, as someone who's constantly facing obstacles, life will mirror that assumption back to you. If you believe that things rarely work out for you, that you are always one step behind, then that is exactly what you will continue to experience. But the moment you shift your inner world, the moment you claim a new reality within yourself, the outer world must follow. This is the law. Most people are waiting for evidence before they believe. They want to see proof that miracles exist before they accept them as a natural part of life. But this is like standing before a mirror and waiting for your reflection to smile before you do. The world does not lead, it follows. Your inner conviction comes first. When you declare, I am a magnet for miracles, you are not making a request, you are issuing a command. You are setting into motion forces that must bring you exactly what you have assumed. This is why faith is essential. Not faith in something outside of you, not faith in chance or luck, but faith in the law itself. Faith that the moment you assume a thing to be true, it must be reflected in your world. This is not about forcing things to happen. It is not about effort or struggle. It is about alignment. The moment you live from the state of being a magnet for miracles, you no longer chase. You no longer worry. You no longer question. You simply allow. The greatest barrier to miracles is doubt. Doubt creeps in when the outer world does not immediately conform to your assumption. You declare yourself a magnet for miracles, but when circumstances seem unchanged, when no grand shift appears before you, you begin to question. This wavering state, this inconsistency in belief, is what delays the manifestation. The one who truly knows does not waver. They do not need to see immediate proof because they understand the unseen is always moving, always aligning, always preparing the way. The mind that is firmly planted in the assumption of miracles will see them everywhere. A chance encounter, a sudden opportunity, a door that was once closed swinging wide open. All of these are the effects of an inner cause. Nothing in your life is random. Everything is responding to the dominant state you hold. To live as a magnet for miracles means to walk through life with an expectancy of good. It means knowing that no matter how things may appear, everything is working for you. It means trusting that the unseen forces of the universe are conspiring on your behalf. The moment you claim this as truth, your world begins to shift. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time. You will meet the right people. Opportunities will come effortlessly. What once seemed impossible will become inevitable. The key is persistence. You must not declare this truth once and then forget it. It must become your way of being. Every morning, as you rise, affirm with absolute certainty, I am a magnet for miracles. Say it, not as a wish, but as a fact. Say it until it is ingrained within you, until it becomes the foundation upon which you stand. And as you go about your day, carry this knowing with you. Do not let circumstances dictate your belief. Do not let appearances sway you. Hold firm in your assumption, and the world will bend to meet you. This is not theory. This is not something to test half-heartedly. This is a law that governs all things. The moment you fully accept that you are a magnet for miracles, the moment you cease to entertain any thought to the contrary, your reality will reflect it without fail. Do not wait for proof. Do not wait for signs. Assume it now, live from it now, and watch as life unfolds in ways that will leave you in awe. I forgive myself and release the past. These words are not mere affirmations. They are the key to unlocking the boundless power that has always been within you. Until you free yourself from the chains of past experiences, until you stop reliving old stories in your mind, you will continue to see the same patterns unfold in your reality. You are not meant to be held captive by regrets, mistakes, or past hurts. You are the creator of your life, and as long as you dwell on what was, you cannot move into what can be. Forgiveness is not about condoning what has happened. It is not about justifying wrongs or pretending that pain never existed. It is about understanding that everything in your world is a reflection of your state of being. The past does not exist anywhere except in your consciousness. And as long as you give it power, it will continue to shape your present and dictate your future. The only way to break free is to release it entirely, to let go of every lingering emotion, every lingering story, and step into the reality of now. Many believe that forgiveness is for the benefit of others, but the truth is, it is for you. It is an act of self-liberation. Holding on to resentment, guilt, or sorrow binds you to the very things you wish to escape. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of repetition, replaying the same scenes over and over again. But the moment you declare, I forgive myself, and release the past, you are cutting the ties that hold you to an unwanted reality. You are reclaiming your power. You must understand that no experience is ever wasted. Every event in your life, no matter how painful or challenging, has brought you to this very moment. There are no accidents, no mistakes, only lessons that have shaped you, experiences that have expanded your understanding. When you see this truth, forgiveness becomes natural. It is not about erasing the past. It is about transforming your relationship to it. It is about recognizing that you are not the same person you once were. The greatest barrier to self-forgiveness is the belief that you must suffer for your past choices, that somehow in punishing yourself, you are making things right. But suffering does not correct the past. It only prolongs its hold over you. The universe does not demand suffering. It does not require penance. It responds only to the state you occupy. When you continue to dwell in regret, you are creating from that place, drawing more experiences that affirm your unworthiness. The only way to change the script is to step into a new identity, one free from the burdens of yesterday. Imagine yourself completely unburdened, walking forward without the weight of guilt or regret. Imagine how light, how free you would feel. That feeling is available to you now. The moment you accept that the past holds no power over you unless you give it power. The moment you say with conviction, I forgive myself and release the past, you are declaring your freedom. But you must mean it. You cannot merely speak the words while secretly holding on to the old emotions. You must let them go entirely and completely. And the way to do this is simple. Stop revisiting the past in your mind. Stop telling the same stories. Stop justifying your pain. Every time you relive an old memory, you are keeping it alive in your present. Instead, shift your focus to the now. See yourself as new, as whole, as free. Your subconscious mind accepts whatever you impress upon it. If you continue to tell yourself that you are a prisoner of your past, that is exactly what you will experience. But if you begin to see yourself as renewed, if you assume the feeling of freedom, then freedom must become your reality. This is not wishful thinking, this is law. The world you experience is a reflection of the assumptions you hold about yourself. Change those assumptions and the world must change with you. Do not wait for external validation. Do not wait for someone else to grant you permission to move forward. The power is within you. Right now, in this very moment, you can decide to be free. You can decide that nothing from your past defines you, that every choice, every action, every moment has led you to a greater understanding, and that understanding is what will now shape your future. This is the way to true transformation. It is not found in dwelling on what has been, but in fully embracing what is. And what is this: you are unlimited, you are free. You are not bound to any version of yourself that no longer serves you. The past is only as real as you allow it to be. Let it go and step into the limitless possibilities that await you. I am grateful for this new day and the limitless opportunities it brings. These words, when spoken with conviction, do more than set a positive tone for your morning. They align you with the unseen forces that shape your reality. Gratitude is not just a polite expression. It is the very key that unlocks the door to abundance, the force that draws to you all that you desire. To truly understand its power, you must go beyond surface level appreciation and embody a state of gratitude so deeply that it becomes the very foundation upon which your world is built. Most people wake up carrying the weight of yesterday. They allow old thoughts, old emotions, and old fears to dictate the new day before it has even begun. But you are not here to live in repetition. You are here to create, to expand, to step into the infinite potential that each day holds. And this begins with gratitude, not as a mere reaction to external events, but as an internal state that precedes them. To give thanks in advance is to assume the reality of your desires, to affirm that what you seek is already yours. This is not wishful thinking. This is the creative act in motion. Gratitude is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When you wake up and declare, I am grateful for this new day and the limitless opportunities it brings, you are shifting your consciousness to a place where everything is possible. You are training your mind to see beyond limitation, beyond past failures, beyond perceived obstacles. And as your perception changes, so does your world. You are never experiencing life as it is. You are experiencing life as you are. The state you occupy in consciousness is what determines the events, circumstances, and opportunities that unfold before you. When you truly understand this, you no longer wait for conditions to appear before you feel grateful. You do not say, I will be grateful when I receive what I want. Instead, you say, I am grateful now, for I know that all I desire is already on its way. You do not beg for change. You embody the change. This is the difference between those who struggle and those who thrive. Those who struggle believe they must see first, then believe. Those who thrive believe first, then see. Gratitude is the expression of this belief. Many people misunderstand the power of gratitude because they associate it only with things they already have. But true gratitude extends beyond the present moment. It reaches into the unseen and calls forth what has yet to manifest. If you desire abundance, be grateful as though it were already yours. If you seek love, give thanks as if it has already arrived. If you wish for success, wake up each morning and declare your gratitude for the limitless opportunities that await you. And as you persist in this state, the world around you will begin to mirror it. You must understand that your words and feelings are seeds planted in the soil of your subconscious mind. Each morning you have a choice to plant seeds of lack, fear, and limitation, or to plant seeds of gratitude, expansion, and abundance. The words you speak to yourself are not idle statements. They are commands issued to the unseen forces that shape your life. When you say, I am grateful for this new day, you are instructing your mind to seek out reasons to be grateful. You are shifting your attention away from what is missing and toward what is possible. And because your attention is the creative force that molds your reality, What you focus on expands. This is not about denying reality. It is about shaping reality. If you wake up each morning and focus on problems, you reinforce them. If you dwell on yesterday's failures, you carry them into today. But if you wake up and affirm gratitude for the limitless possibilities before you, you open yourself to a reality far greater than the one you have known. Your consciousness is like a tuning dial, and gratitude is the frequency that aligns you with all that is good, all that is abundant, all that is already waiting for you to claim it. You do not need to see the full picture to be grateful. You do not need proof before you believe. The very act of waking up and giving thanks is an acknowledgement that life is working in your favor, even when you cannot yet see how. And the moment you shift your internal state, the external world begins to move in ways you could not have anticipated. Doors open, unexpected opportunities arise, paths appear where none seemed to exist before. This is the power of living in gratitude. The mind left unchecked will always seek problems. It will replay old fears, dwell on what is lacking, and resist the unknown. But gratitude bypasses this resistance. It lifts you above the level of the problem and places you at the level of the solution. It is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about recognizing that you hold the power to shape what comes next. And as you begin each day with gratitude, you step into the role of the creator, no longer waiting for life to change, but directing it with your own consciousness. So when you rise in the morning, do not let old thoughts dictate your first moments. Do not let worries or regrets be the first thing you entertain. Instead, claim your power. Speak the words, "I am grateful for this new day and the limitless opportunities it brings." And say them not as empty phrases, but as a declaration of truth. For when you assume the feeling of gratitude, even before the evidence appears, you set in motion a reality where what you seek is already seeking you. I choose to live in alignment with my highest self. This statement is more than words. It is a command to your subconscious mind, an affirmation that reshapes your reality. To live in alignment with your highest self is to recognize that you are not bound by the conditions of the past, nor by the limitations of the present. You are, at every moment, the architect of your own experience, the creator of the world in which you dwell. Your higher self is not something outside of you. It is the essence of who you truly are, the limitless being that exists beyond doubt, fear, or perceived lack. When you speak these words each morning, you are making a choice to step into your divine power, to reject the illusions of limitation, and to create your life from a place of conscious intention. Most people live their lives in reaction to the external world. They allow circumstances to dictate their emotions, their thoughts, and their actions. They look at what is and believe that it is all that can be. But to live in alignment with your highest self is to know that what you see before you is merely the reflection of past states of consciousness. It is not fixed. It is not permanent. It is malleable, subject to change. The moment you change the way you see yourself, you are never trapped, never powerless. The only thing that holds you back is the illusion that you are anything less than infinite. To choose alignment is to shift your inner world first, before expecting anything to change on the outside. It is to assume the state of the person you wish to be, even before the evidence appears. If you desire to be confident, you do not wait for external validation. You embody confidence now. If you desire to be abundant, you do not wait for wealth to appear. You assume the feeling of abundance now. If you desire love, you do not seek it outside of yourself. You become love, and in doing so, you draw it to you effortlessly. This is the key that unlocks all doors, the understanding that you are always creating from within, not from without. Your highest self is already within you, waiting to be expressed. It is the version of you that knows no doubt, no hesitation, no fear. It does not beg for change, it commands it. It does not wish for better circumstances, it creates them. And the only thing that separates you from this version of yourself is your willingness to assume its reality now. Most people wait. They wait for signs, for proof, for conditions to change before they give themselves permission to be who they truly are. But those who understand the power of consciousness know that waiting is an illusion. There is no future moment where you will finally become your highest self. There is only now. And
All right, we're going to stop the tape right there. And you guys can hear the rest when I post it into the chat. But want to end it right there. Very, very practical, lesson from Never right there. It's a easy to follow lesson. It's filled with so many nuggets that makes perfect sense. Probably too much sense. And sometimes that is our issue with consciousness, it's we try to complicate, producing or manifesting. And that causes us to have impatience, doubts, resistance, as mentioned on the tape. Resistance is a big thing that we struggle with. We all have things that we do want to experience, want to manifest, but we have some inner convictions that seems to be an impediment, but we do not know that it's there or that they are there. There's many of them. Last week was at a wedding, and we were having a discussion afterwards, and one of the young lady was like, that the pastors of today are talking too much about prosperity. That was one of her comments. The pastors of today, maybe she's talking about, Creflo Dollar and some of these other guys, Joel Osteen, maybe even TD Jakes, people like that. So they're talking too much about prosperity. So right there on the bat, I recognize that in her own mind, she has some hangups about money, about prosperity, about believing that she can, really achieve it and stuff like that. So she has bought the illusion about going to heaven to experience, opulence, or to experience riches and streets of gold and all this foolishness. Like, I have no interest of walking on streets of gold. It's not that serious. All right. Absolute foolishness. But some people buy into that stuff, and the program that she has running in her mind, or the subconscious programming that is that money is evil, or prosperity is not for everyone, and it's only for some people, and it's better to be poor in heart and rich in spirit, and all these different things that we've been told. What I'm saying, your riches is in heaven, your reward is in heaven, and people just misconstrue what that means. When you hear that your reward is in heaven, it doesn't mean it is a place that you're going to go. It is telling you that is where you have to go. No, in consciousness, to receive your reward. All your rewards are in heaven, yes, but it is not a place to go. Two, it is a place of being. All right? That's where all your rewards are. They say, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Scripture tells you heaven is within you. So you have to go within you. So the only going to heaven that exists is right now. There is not a future that is coming in where you're going to go to heaven. Absolute nonsense. Blasphemy, if anything, to use that biblical term, because you're believing in a existing God outside of yourself, a place to go and worship with this so-called God. Okay? It's an inside job. It's right now. So you're either gonna go to heaven, a place within your existing consciousness. That is where you're going to go. Or you're going to go to hell, meaning that you're going to remain in you're going to be destructive, in your thinking, and perpetuate not receiving, not having. Hell is also a state of being, but it's an external. It's like you're putting yourself, looking for signs. You're looking for the signs to follow, not realizing that you have to proceed within your own consciousness. All right, I see Sir T got his hand up. I know he doesn't have much time, so let me hear what Sir T have to say. Go ahead, big brother.
Yes, yes, sir, Chris. Yes, with regarding to the heaven and hell experiences that you mentioned just now, be it known that these are experiences that we all there is none exempt. We all go through these experiences every day throughout our existence. Your hell experience is when you are unable to achieve your goals, when you're unable to manifest your dreams. We've all experienced them all away. And your heaven experience is that euphoria that we feel when we achieve, when we get the news we want, when you hear the good news that your child has been accepted to. That's a heaven experience. It's heaven and hell, and it is inevitable. There will never be a time in your existence where all you experience is heaven. No, because you have had your hell concepts of yourself in the past that will revisit you. There was a time when you did not see yourself to be the affluent person that you have become. Hopefully, you were not always of that persuasion of yourself. You saw yourself as, I am only human. If I am so bad lucky, you've seen that. So those you will get flashes of those experiences throughout your existence. Know that you know, however, when these experiences visit you, you have to have the courage now to just say, oh, all news. That's something that it happened already. And you just quickly fast forward past it. Don't judge it. Don't judge yourself for it. Don't just see it as an old movie that you made long ago. You didn't even remember. Say you make that movie then. And you just sit down and just watch it fast forward. And make it go through. But there will always be heaven or hell. Heaven cannot exist without hell. Just like tall cannot exist without short. So if heaven exists, hell has to exist. And if you're having heaven experiences, hell experiences will also come alongside it. But where your balance lies, it will tell you based on the experiences that you have more of. So you just see these hell experiences, these uh, unfriendly, unkind things that you experience. Just see it as a bad movie that you made way back in idea you never even remember it. And sit down and listen to it, watch it and laugh. And just know that it's all this. It would be like a songwriter. Let's say Barry Salmon. all this catalog of music that he has, I am sure he could go way back into the 70s and go back and listen to a song that he wrote. Back then, probably he didn't even record that one. He wrote it, and not him write it, and he may put it on a cassette, and he may put him voice on a cassette doing it. And if he goes back and listen to it now, he's gonna say, boy, it's a good thing we never put out a song there. It was now that I have developed, that was a bad song. But he can still tolerate it. He can sit down and listen to it and still enjoy it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even though you know that that was all right, good. I'm better than that now. And that's how you have to see these rainy days. But it's all it's an experience that comes together. Life, life is everything in life is a balance. If one thing exists, the other also have to exist. Its opposite has to exist. The only thing that has no opposite is nothing. The only thing that has no opposite, and when I say nothing, I mean zero. Zero is the only thing that has no opposite. Zero is the only thing that exists as just a unilateral thing. So you have to see everything in that balance. Whatever you experience, the other reason you experience it, it's because it's in you somewhere, based on former conceptions of yourself. Don't judge yourself for it. Don't judge yourself on anything. Just be. That's why you're a human being. Just be. All right, but Sir Chris, I gotta run. My ride is ready and I'm off on a little vacation. All right.
All
All
right.
right. Peace, everyone. I'm still here in the chat, but running.
All right. All right. Yeah,
Peace, man.
thank you for that insertion right there. You know, um, very well articulated as always. And as you say, you're you know, off to have some fun with the family and whatnot. Um, it was something that you had planned, in mind from a previous time. I know it's the sign is as followed. This is a sign that you're living right now. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's something that you had preceded in consciousness or previously planned. As we state in Science Follow, they do not proceed. So you are where you are because of a plan that was put in place previously. But you did say something there that, when you see or you're experiencing something right now, you are to recognize that it is something that you were, not what you are now, something that you had previously recorded or imagined, contemplated, created. And when you see it now, you know that it's just something that you are outwardly living. Relive your past. If you're going to go back into the past, revise it. Internet is unstable. Can you guys hear me? So I know, because I'm getting like a sign that says my internet is unstable. So just give me a thumbs up so I know I'm being heard. Anybody? Can you guys hear me? Yeah?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Yeah, loud and
Yes,
clear.
we can hear you.
All right, nice. Yeah, so the only time you should relive your past is if it's something that was, wonderful, something that you really, really enjoyed. And so if you relive that in mind, it will happen again. But we always sometimes seem to relive negative past, the negative things that happened in our past. For some reason we kind of hold on to those things. But those are just we do it because of subconscious programming, you know. Just our upbringing, we've been conditioned to hold on to things that happened. There's a saying, misery loves company. So you sometimes seek someone else who have experienced the same thing as you so that you don't feel like it's just you. You don't feel excluded. You like to include others into your mess, so to speak. So you feel as if you're justified as to why you're experiencing what you have. Then you think, because others have experienced it too, this must be just how life is. It's something that just happens to all of us, not realizing that all these are just what we have created, you know, within ourselves, unknowingly and sometimes knowingly. But we do not recognize our harvest. We do not know that, the things that we do, the things that we're experiencing, that we're the ones that created it. Sometimes we struggle with that because we're like, well, how did this happen? I don't remember being like this in my mind or whatever. But Never said something one time that when you're watching the news, reading the newspaper, or you're listening to conversations or whatnot, whether you get involved with it or not verbally, sometimes you're caught up in the conversation, and you might have created a feeling within yourself just by listening to the conversation or just by indulging in the conversation, whichever way you're doing it. And that feeling never caused a seed. You say you have just planted a seed because you included your feeling. You see, your feeling is more powerful than repetition. You know, your subconscious is a habitual mind, so it requires repetitive thoughts or conversations or whatnot. But the one thing that it does not require over and over, like it is for your thoughts, is your feeling. Feeling is above thought. Okay. So if you feel a certain type of way because of a certain type of thing or whatever, it automatically impresses your subconscious. And that is what plays out at times. Exactly. Feelings are the seeds that impregnates the subconscious mind. But you don't know that you did it because it's a feeling. It's like a one-time thing, you know? It's not something that was was carried on. It's just that in that particular moment you have indulged and did not realize. It's like the farmer walking with a bunch of seeds in his hand to go over there, over yonder to plant, but one of them or two of them fell out and he did not realize it, you know. But the seed fell on the ground, the ground felt the seed and accepted it. And there goes that plant. You don't know that you did it. You only know what you went unconsciously did. So these are things that you do unconsciously, indulging in watching news, listening to a song, conversation with others, and even within yourself. And you plant these seeds and don't realize it. So these are the things that confront you, and you wonder where this come from. So it is always you planting the seed. That is what we struggle with, accepting that. How did this happen? And we don't realize that these are just seeds that we have planted some time ago. Sometimes it's a long time ago. Sometimes it's recently. Um, Sometimes it could be a minute ago. It all depends on your subconscious programming. Um, I realize that there are certain things that we seem to manifest so easily than others. And it all has to do with our inner convictions. Whatever we are certain can happen or have programmed our subconscious to accept, I realized that these are things that we were always engaged with. Engage means something that you internally attach yourself to. You know, you engage this idea, this concept, but it was repetitive and also with a lot of feelings. And these become subconscious programs that's lying in your behind your or they're unconscious. You're not really you're not really aware that they're there. But every now and then, if your mind brings it up, it it goes to work and it brings into being into your reality whatever that program was programmed for. You realize that certain things you just automatically manifest so quickly, so easily than other things. And the things that we don't manifest as quickly is because we don't have the subconscious programs, or there is a subconscious disconnect or another program that is canceling out that program. If you look at your phone really mimics how your consciousness works. Everything about it. You know, we can write a sentence and delete it. We can write a sentence and rearrange it. We change, you know, we edit it. All these things you can do in your consciousness, but we don't realize that we can do these things. You know, the phone is just a sign of what your consciousness really is. You know, it's always recording, it's always writing stuff, and you can always go back and rewrite what you wrote before, and then that can be your new program. So whatever program you have in mind already in your subconscious, you can rewrite it or overwrite it with a new program, something that people who have done coding, like I did a little bit of that, you know, when I was in college back in the day or whatever, and it hit me then what we do with our consciousness. We give what do you call it, commands. You know, when you're writing a program, it's a command. You're commanding it to do this, commanding to do that. And you can cancel out any program that you want to cancel by rewriting a higher program so whenever this program pops its head up, it automatically overrides it, cancels it. You know, all these are programs that people have to write on your phone, on computers and stuff like that. And they're called commands. And it's so simple. You would not believe how they write these things. It's so simple, like it makes no sense. Why is it so simple to write these programs? Because when you operate in the system, it seems so complicated. Okay, Mark. All right, take care, my brother. You know, when you're writing these programs as a computer technician or whatnot, it's simple programs. Doesn't mean it's easy, but the program itself, as written, is very straightforward and it does what it's supposed to do when you program it. We're doing the same thing with our consciousness, but we don't realize it. Okay? And so we have to realize that we are writing our programs subconsciously, and we can rewrite any programs to supersede or to override any previous program. So bottom line is anything that we're struggling to manifest, guys, the reality is we have programs in the background that is negating what we are creating. We have a subconscious belief in our minds somewhere, like that young lady I said about talking about too many pastors are preaching about prosperity. we do have these subconscious belief in our mind. So when we say we need to receive a certain amount of money or whatever it may be, yes, we want it, but there's a subconscious blockage. That's why some people get it and some people don't. Same thing, two people wanting the same thing, one gets it, the other does not. It's a clear sign that there has to be something in the way of the person that did not get it, but you are unaware. But if you really inventory yourself, you can pinpoint it, you can find it. There was a time coming up when you were told that money is evil or the root of all evil. And because it was repeated over and over and over to you, you accepted it. And now, when you are um, attempting to manifest money by way of a new job or starting a business or investing or whatever it might be, you find it very hard to manifest. But it is a subconscious program that is superseding what you are doing. No, you know. So you have to find a way to detach from those feelings, from those beliefs, those subconscious programming. You have to go and root up this seed or cut this tree down that is impeding your progress. Um, and it is really there, guys. No matter how hard you try to deny it, they are there. Okay, cannot be in denial. These subconscious programs are there. They were created from when we were very young, and we have to root them up. How you root them up? You go back in your past and you review how it should have been rather than how it is right now. Only time you go back in your past, that is the negative, is by revision, not to relive it, not to say, oh, these things always happens to me, or every time I do this, that happens. No, you go back in the past in your imagination and you rewrite, review how it should have been. So can you change your past? Yes, you can change the past by reviewing how it should have been. Just like how you can edit something that you wrote 10 weeks ago. You can go back in your phone and copy it and paste it and rewrite, rearrange the writings and whatnot, and then let that be your new belief, your new accepted writing. Okay? And only read that one. Don't read the other one. So if you receive, say per se, you apply for a job and you got a letter saying that, sorry, we have to deny your application right now because such and such and such. You acknowledge what was said, but then you can rewrite the letter saying something different, by saying like, oh, we're so happy to inform you that we have accepted the application. Looking forward to working with you. We will see you in 2 weeks or whatever. All right. The conscious mind is going to come forward and say to you, this is a lie. The letter says you were denied. Because it's going to say, well, how is that going to happen now? The people they have already made up their minds. They're not going to come to you now and tell you, we've changed our mind. They've made up their minds already. So how is it that they're going to come now and tell you that, looking forward to see you in 2 weeks and whatnot? Okay, so this is what you're going to struggle with, because we accept what we are told now as final, not realizing that what you're experiencing now was something that you have previously created. There's, like I said before, what is going on here? Huh? Do you know? Sorry about that, guys. Something just popped up on my computer uh, from Microsoft. Yeah. Um, so I was saying that, you know, you're going to struggle with the acceptance that this is possible to recreate, because the conscious mind is going to bring up it's already final. You cannot change it. The people have already made up their mind. You're not realizing that previously to that letter, you had some kind of subconscious hold up that they may not accept your application. Maybe you're not qualified. There's something about you that created or has created that response. Okay? So you have to accept that. Then go back and just redo it or review it as you would have wanted to experience it. That sign of the new proceeding is going to follow. You don't know how or when, but like never say, just live in that assumption. Do not worry about how it's going to happen. If the people are really going to call you back, it may not be those people. It may be a better, a different, a more productive, higher paying company that might reach out to you. If you have your resume on Indeed or LinkedIn and all these other type of stuff, anybody can see it and give you a call. So don't get caught up with the rejection. Okay? Don't get caught up with the rejection. Just review the denial. It's not a no. All right? It just means not right now. That's all the letter really means. And you can rewrite it as you would like to experience it. Do it like that and then leave it be. Do not, because I have things right now that I've done just like that. Sometimes you don't have to write these things, but they seem to work better when you do, but you don't have to. These could just be a conviction you have in your mind. You've been told this is not going to happen, the decision is final, all that stuff. Do not accept it. Um, it's funny. What was it, last year? Last year, I lost some money physically. I don't know exactly how much it was, but I presume it was maybe a little bit over $300, right? So somehow I lost the money. It's the first time I've lost money in years. Okay. So don't know where I lost it or exactly when, but I know I had the money and it's gone. So I said to myself, um, maybe somebody needed the money, whoever found it. uh, Somebody needed it. But I realized that in my own mind, this had to be some kind of subconscious program that expressed itself, you know, probably was concerned about, I need this money for whatever reason, you know, or it's just to take care of this, take care of that. Whenever you need something, the first thing that's going to come to mind is um, you cannot lose it because you need it. Okay. Um, so the money turned up missing. I didn't even know when I lost it. I just know when I was looking for it, I can't find it. So I let it be. All right. No, I struggled with that because you don't want to lose money. If it's something that you need, to pay a bill or whatnot, you're going to struggle with, man, I could have used that money right now and this and that and the third. So all these things are going to show up. But I had to learn to let it go. I found myself forgetting about it. I completely forgot about this money, because I had put myself in a position where I have to let it be, let it go. Do not bring it back up. I started to think somebody probably needed the money. Um, Whoever found it, good for them, whatnot. Just let it be. And after a while, I forgot that I even lost the money. I forgot all about the money. I started focusing on just whatever I was doing and so on and so forth. So, what was it? Maybe a couple weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I received a check in the mail, unexpectedly, from the IRS for 10 times the amount that I thought I lost. And I'm like, where did this come from? But I remembered, okay, see what you were worried about was even unnecessary. No, it's you got your replacement, but you got it, even more so. So I say that to say this, that whenever something happens, you can always go back and review it, you know, in a positive light, but you don't know how it's going to rearrange itself. You don't know how it's going to replay, because it's going to be a replay, but the replay is going to be what you review, what your revision. And if you put feeling into it or some kind of expectation, it's going to replay a certain, it's going to replay to match the feeling that you had, the feeling of, never call it the feeling of relief. There's no better feeling than relief, So I had also included in there that I found the money somewhere, somehow, it came back. So practice the feeling of relief. There's no better feeling when you're relieved of something. I mean, there's no better feeling than that. When you find something that you were looking for the whole time or for a long time, a relief comes with it. And so that was completely unexpected. But honestly, that was, I don't know, that was never on my radar. But I know where it's coming from, some years and years and years ago or whatever. But I did not expect that to show up, you know, that check. But like I said, if I had held on to the loss and all this type of stuff and made it become my um, state of being or state of mind or whatnot, I would have created more of the loss. So you have to learn to recognize these things, realize that you've created it, let it be, recreate what had happened somehow, revise it, reform it, reshape it. It's like clay. A clay is never permanent. You can always reshape. If you're making something and you don't like how it turns out, you can always break it apart and reshape it. It's never something that is permanent at all. Okay? Um, your desire is just like that. You're expecting manifestation. If it's not happening how you want it to be, you can always go back and revise it, which means to reform it, to undo the old and redo it how you want it, and let that set. Let that reformation, revision set, and you have completely destroyed the old or the previous form that you had that you did not like. You destroyed it and reformed it. Okay? And you let that revision, that reformation be what you expect to now be your permanent state. But unfortunately, we kind of hold on to the old stuff and don't create a new thing to take the placement of the old. We just kind of hold on to the old stuff, and there's nothing to replace it. So it keeps repeating itself over and over. Take the old stuff, destroy it. Remember, it's clay. Just reform it into something else, and then let that be your new state, your new state of being. Okay? It sounds simple, but it's not easy because of conscious hangups, because we live in the conscious mind. Okay? That's our problem. We have to try to live in the subconscious, the place of perfection, the place of the imagination. Everything to the subconscious mind is, okay? Everything exists now, no matter what it is. But we live too much in the conscious mind, and we expect things to change from there. Nothing changes from there. Everything changes in your subconscious. Okay? So you have to give your subconscious everything that you desire to have manifest. You design it consciously, form it consciously, turn it over to the subconscious to manifest it, to create it, you know. And you go into the Sabbath. You go into rest. Rest is like you're in relief prior to the manifestation. Okay? So signs follow what you have previously done in your mind, in your consciousness. Okay? Signs follow. Anything you see that you don't like is following something that you did in your mind. Go back and revise it and just wait for the sign to follow your revision. You know, if it's something that's good, you know that previously you have thought of, experienced, or felt something in mind that you are now experiencing. Okay? But we want to, focus on acknowledging or recognizing that everything that you're experiencing is a previous state of mind that you have had that you're now reliving, that you are now replaying. That is the understanding we want all of us to come away with. Life is just a replay of what we have recorded previously. Everything we watch on TV is a recording that is being replayed. It's a recording that's being replayed. Same thing in your mind. You're living what you have recorded, what you have entertained previously. So it's easy to change. Change your mind, and your outer world will change. Change your clothes, and the mirror will reflect what you have changed into. It's really that simple. All right. I know we didn't get to play the entire tape because we had some technical difficulties and whatnot, but I'm going to replay it. I'm going to post it into the room for you guys to have to listen to in its entirety. Okay. But any addition, any questions, any
Sure.
you want to add?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
This morning teaching was very on point with the season that we are in now. And Um, what I wanted to say is when you take everything that he said this morning and apply it to your daily schedule, your daily task, it becomes repetitive. And not only does it become repetitive, but if it's something that you're truly seeking, you truly want, you want a different lifestyle, you want a different living, then you have to make it a habit of including these affirmations, these manifestations into your life. And it can't just be a feeling, it has to be a lifestyle. In order to change something, it has to become a lifestyle for you. Because if you're doing it just because it's a high, then what happens when that high goes away? So it has to become a lifestyle for you. Like, you know, it has to become a routine. You know, before you go to work, you have to make that effort to stop, get in tune with your soul, get in tune with your spirit. Get up a little bit early to make your affirmations, to do your manifestations, to do the law of attraction, and to apply these things to you to boost yourself up for the next several hours that you're going to face and you don't know what you're going to face. Also, when you want better, you do better. So if you want a better life, then you have to search and do better. So with everything that he was saying about, you know, commanding your morning, that's part of commanding your morning with manifestation and affirmations and, you know, saying all is well in my world, everything is working out for my highest good. That is like commanding your morning. You're setting up the atmosphere for whatever you're getting ready to face, you know, in the next several hours at work or at your business with a customer, with a road rage or whatever the case may be. You command that morning already. So you already, you know, prepared your mind and, you know, for what's to come. Anyway, I would advise anyone here to really get into manifestation, affirmation, and law of attraction, just like I could never say his name right. What's his name again, Chris?
Never.
Neville. Yeah.
Never got her.
Yeah, never. So I would advise, you know, what the teaching tape that Chris put out today, that we really, really take time to listen and take notes, especially when he's giving you the 5 key points to repeat over yourself in the mornings and stuff like that, or throughout the day, or whatever the case may be. Because it really works. It really, really works. I was, you know, I was searching. I was like, you know, I was like, well, okay, I know they say this and this, but how do I get this? I'm the type of person, I like to do research. If I don't understand something, if I don't know something, I like to go and do research until I dig, I dig, I dig, I dig, and I get what I need. So, you know, with me coming here every Sunday, it helps me so much. And I just, you know, I would like this for everybody, but it's not for everybody. You know, it could be confusing for some people, but if you are a chosen one, if you are called, if you want a different path in your life, then, you know, you would really take the Sundays, you know, services. Chris called it program. I call it a service because it's feeding me. But you know, you would take it very serious because it has opened up my mind so much. You know, my subconscious, my conscious. I always knew about conscious and subconscious, but literally coming here every Sunday, the breakdowns of Neville and, you know, the Ethiopian guy that he had a run in with, all these things, all these teachings that's out there that you know, we don't know about, and it's out there, but you know, because of work, of everyday things moving so fast that we don't know what we're doing, and we're frustrating ourselves when the, you know, education is there for us to get it. So I don't mean to talk a lot. What I'm just saying is just, let's get with the program.
Loving it. Keep on going.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have to say.
You're not talking a lot. You have said a lot.
Mhm.
It's more like it, you know. A lot being you're expressing what this program, or like you said, the service has done for you coming here each and every Sunday. We like to hear stuff like that. We want to see people transform. You're not transforming physically, but mentally. That's where
Right.
the transformation takes place. And then when you transform from the mental state or internal state, your outer experiences is going to show the transformation. So things that you previously might have thought to be out of reach, difficult, unnecessary, impossible, won't happen, whatnot.
Mhm.
Because of your consciousness now elevated, you will now see the possibility. I can use an example. So when I used to play basketball, and I say I want to dunk the basketball or whatever, right? So before I could do that, it seemed impossible. Like I'm looking at this rim, this thing looked like it's about 20 feet high, like literally. So it's like this is not gonna this is not gonna happen. But once I start putting in the work, the practice, and this is like when nobody's looking, when I start to, so it's like an inside job. I'm doing it out of the sight of everybody else. They're not seeing what I'm doing. So it's related to internal work that you're doing. So anyhow, weeks upon weeks upon weeks of practice, I realized that I'm improving. So when I go back and look at the rim this time, it doesn't look as high as it looked before. Did the rim move? No, the rim didn't go anywhere. What moved was my awareness, the knowingness that no, the work that I've put in has brought me closer to my goal. My goal does not move. It's never something that was ever out of reach, except my belief that it is. But I put the work in anyways just to see, all right, let's see. They say if I do this, this will happen. I put the work in, and after a while, the rim looked like it came down to my level. It was never ever something that I did not see as possible as being possible anymore. You know. So after seeing it like that, it became easy for me to dunk the basketball. I never struggled with that anymore, because I negated my previous programming that said that this is too far, it's out of reach. I'm not tall enough. I'm only, a little bit above 6 foot. I'm not 7 foot. Just learning the game. All these things that, popped up in my mind, which told me that it's not possible. But because I put the work in, it changed my perception. See how it is? Like, what's his name? Wayne Dyer say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at, the very things you look at, they change. Like I just said, the rim was way up here. All of a sudden, it came down here, but it really did not move. What moved was my belief, my consciousness that it was possible. So the whole time, the doubt was really what was controlling my perception. Once I got over the doubt, my perception changed. The rim was never far away from me, it was always right here all the time. So it's the same thing with our goals. Your goals are not far away from you. They're always right here in your face, but your perception is what makes it seem like it's far because you perceive it that way. But it's really right here. It's right in your face, you know. And so, what's his name? Bob Proctor says that when you read a book over and over and over, you don't see something in the book that was not there. You see something in yourself that was not there before. You understand? So you read something and it made no sense to you, but you continue to read and read and read. And as you're reading, your consciousness or awareness, your knowledge is growing. You're collecting more data and stuff like that. So now, when you read that same thing again, it seems as if it wasn't there, but it always was. It's just that no, something in you changed. Your comprehension changed. Your wisdom changed. Understand? You because of your repetition, you're doing it over and over and over. It became something natural. So that's what it is. If you can make something become natural, meaning flows easy, not going against but going with. Once it becomes natural, that's when you know you have grown. If it's not natural, you're going to feel the resistance, the struggle. You're going to feel effort. There should be no effort. Effort means that it's not natural yet. You know, when it becomes effortless, you are now in the natural state, the unconscious, competent state, where everything you do, you just do it. You know, you're driving and you don't think about where you're going because you know where you're going. And you don't think about what street to turn on. You get there and somehow you turn on the street. You go left, you go right, you go all these different directions, and you find yourself at your destination. Sometimes you wonder, well, what street did I take? When did I get here? Who was driving? Now you're in your unconscious state, but you were competently unconscious. You know, you knew, like the back of your hand, as they would say, it's your second nature. You know, and that is where we want to get to in manifestation. You want to be where you think of something, and it just automatically register into your subconscious. And in no time, you just see signs of it coming into being. And you know exactly what is happening, you know, because you have put forth the effort, the practice. So this is practice, like I mentioned about basketball. This is practice that you put in motion over and over and over. And after a while, it must create a relief or non-resistance. It must become natural to you, just like anything. Everything you're doing for the first, second, third, fourth time is going to have a bit of struggle, a bit of doubt. But if you persist, as we said a couple of weeks ago, persistent faith, if you persist, the thing that you used to doubt becomes so natural. You wonder why you doubted in the first place, you know. But it's just the state that we have to go through. It is a, to use this word again, it is a natural process of doubt and fear and struggle, and all these things are there because that's the process with anything that you're doing. But we want to get to where, even though these things are naturally there, yes, that's right, Stacey. Even when you're not, even when you think of something and you don't have it yet, no doubt is going to come to your mind, even though that's part of the process. You want to overcome that. You just know that you have bypassed that. It's just like traveling to somewhere for the first time. The more you do it, you've lost the doubt of how long it's going to take and if you're going to get there and whatnot. But the first time you're doing it, those things are going to creep in. Will I get there on time? Will I get lost? I don't know where this place is at. But the more you repeatedly go to the same place, you've lost the doubt, completely, that you're going to get there because you know where you're going. Okay? So we want to get there in mind the same way. When we have an idea, when we have a desire that pops up, we want to know that we already have it. We are already there. We just know that it has to take some time to process before it can manifest into our world, you know. And we want to have so much certainty that we leave it be. When we don't see it happening right here, right now, we want to just detach from it. Detachment meaning to we're not holding on per se to the doubt. What we're holding on to is the wish already fulfilled, you know. Detach yourself from the doubts, the fear, the impatience, all this type of stuff. Detach yourself from that, okay? And attach yourself to it already happening, okay? So that's a tricky way of the art of detachment. You detach from wanting something to having it, already having it. Because the more you attach to wanting it, it delays you having it. So detach from wanting something and only see yourself already having it. And if you already have something, don't you forget that that you wanted it. That part of you as is history. You forgot that you ever wanted that thing because you already have it, you know? So we want to perfect that same thing in mind. And I know it's not easy. We struggle with that, but it's like I just mentioned, anything that you practice over and over and over becomes natural, becomes a subconscious state, you know, and you understand the assignment, you understand the process, and you work only from the wish fulfilled. We're learning to work from only the wish fulfilled, not from any other state of being, but that. If we can get good at that, we can get so powerful, you know. People are going to think that we are magicians or something like that. You know, I have things in the fire right now that, you know, they're denial, if you want to call it that. Seem like it's not going to happen, but that's just an illusion. So I pay it no mind. I live in the end, you know, and I don't know how it's going to happen or where or when. You want to get so, what you call it, nonchalant about these things. I don't know how it's going to happen or when, you know, I just know it already has happened in my imagination, in my mind. As far as the outer world is concerned, I have no clue and I have no care in the world as to how it's going to happen. Don't question if it's going to happen. I know. That's where you want to get to, you know? That's where you want to get to. That kind of a power. All right? What time is it? Almost 12:30, I believe. 12:26. Any other acknowledgement, sir, team? You're still busy? On the way?
It's not your job.
Oh, what's up, G?
What's up, brother? G Money. What's up, beautiful people? Yeah, it's not our job when the manifestation or how or when or the timing of it, the presentation of it, that part of it is not our job. The Our job is to do the work. You know what I'm saying? Our job is to go to the end of that desire, go to the end of that experience and imagine the end and experience it and go to that point of attraction because that's where your true power is and your power is in the now. You know what I'm saying? Putting that desire in the present tense as if it's already fulfilled itself. You know what I'm saying? Get your feelings, get your emotions, get everything to that point where it's already done. You know what I'm saying? and just let it go. You know what I'm saying? As far as the presentation or when it arrives to us, when it gets here, that's not our job. That's not your job. You know what I'm saying? The person you're gonna run into, the situation that's gonna happen, that's not your job. That's not part of your creation process. Your creation process is to get the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Like the title says, signs follow, they don't precede, right? That's what it is,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So that's what it is. You gotta. The signs are the manifestation. You know what I'm saying? That's what signs represent, the manifestation or the completion of that goal. It follows. It doesn't come before. The come before is the work. You have to do the work first. You know what I'm saying? Do the work first, and then because everything that we're doing right now, everything we're experiencing right now is a residual. Whatever's going on in your life in this moment is a residual of the thought forms and the feelings that you've been holding in the past months, past days, past weeks. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we're experiencing at this point is a residual effect of that. So everything that we're gonna experience in the future tense is gonna be a residual of what we're doing right now, what we're putting out right now. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause everything is you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, G? Everything is a residual. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do the work right now in the present tense so that manifestation can present itself at the right time for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. The key is to always do your best to stay happy. You know what I'm saying? Do your best because some people they desire something, but they still feel sad that it's not there, or they still worrying, or in doubt. It will never come when you're in that state of being, when you're in that feeling. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta feel happy first before it gets to you, and you gotta stay there. You gotta stay in that happiness state, that happiness feeling, that happiness zone, that at ease, that feeling. You know what I'm saying? At peace feeling. You gotta stay there to bring in the manifestation. So the one of the cheat codes that I use to always stay happy, to always be at peace, to always is no matter what it is that I'm desiring, a house, car, whatever it is, an experience, none of that is more important than life and than existence, than living. So I make existence, the fact that I'm existing, living, breathing, um, I got my relationships, my people around me, their existence. I make that my point of happiness. Because no matter what, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing more important than living, than existing, than being. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you're trying to desire, it's a part of existence, it's a part of life. So be grateful and thankful for existing first. That helps you stay happy, that helps you stay at peace. Just the fact that you can live and breathe. Like I always ask Chris this question, like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have $10 million or your next 10 heartbeats, G? What would you rather have if you had the chance?
Heartbeats.
Because existence is way more important than the money or any physical thing that you can think about. You know what I'm saying? Life is way more important than any of that stuff. You'll always choose life. You'll always choose survival for you and your loved ones before any material thing. So if you can be happy for the fact that you exist and stay in that state, then everything in life flows to you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you're desiring, it's a part of life. It's a part of, you know what I'm saying, existence. So you're not making your point of attraction, you're not making your happiness based off that physical thing or that experience. You're not making your every moment happiness space within based off of that. You know what I'm saying? Your happiness is based off of living. It's happiness based off of existence, based off your relationships, being able to see your wife, your husband, your children. You know what I'm saying? People around you. You'll give anything to keep that. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't. No material thing is more important than that. So if you make your happiness based off of that, then everything else you can always stay happy, whether the thing presents itself, if it takes a week, a month, whatever, a year, your happiness is not based off of that thing, that car, that house. Your happiness is not based off of that. And it makes it easier for these things to flow into your experience because you're not making that thing you see what I'm saying, Chief?
Yes, yes.
So that's the cheat code to always being happy, you know what I mean, to always being blessed is to be thankful for life. It helps you to stay in that state of gratefulness, stay in that state of thankfulness. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't make nothing I'm trying to experience based off my happiness. I don't, you know what I'm saying? When it presents itself, it's like, okay, cool, you're here. All right. It's like you're not even, you know what I'm saying? You already know it's coming. So it's like, all right. So you just keep flowing, keep living, you know what I'm saying? And because we're gonna have desires, we're gonna have things that we would like to experience, but we're not making our happiness, our inner joy, our inner peace, um, based off that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you making it based off that, the fact that it hasn't presented itself to you, you're gonna always be like, yeah, it's not here, it's not coming. Where is it? It's not happening. And by you doing that, where is it? What's not happening? That's what you're creating. Yeah, you're creating more of it's not happening, it's not here. That's what you're asking for. You're just focused on that, and that's what you're bringing into yourself. More of it's not happening. More of it's not here. More of why is this happening to me? More is why this person always get it and I don't. More of if you start this is your inner state, your inner speech, your inner feeling. This is what you're now creating, and you're gonna. That's what you're asking for, and you're gonna keep getting more of that. More of it's not here. More of why this person gets it and I don't. Why, you know what I'm saying? So don't make your point of peace, your point of your now moment based off of anything. Don't care about it. Like don't give a, you know what I'm saying? Because before when I came to this knowledge, I used to always be in that space like, damn, why this person always gets it? I'm doing good. Why I used to be in that state, and I realized I've been doing it. I've been pushing my desires away from me by doing that. Like, oh wow, like you have to wish for your brother and sister the same thing that you would wish for yourself. And that's one of the laws that people forget to apply, you know what I'm saying? Because that person is yourself. If you see the next man next to you, the woman next to you experiencing something you would like to, you give thanks for that. Like, man, he deserves that, man. She deserves that. I'm happy for her. I'm great. By you doing that, you amplify things coming into your life. You know what I'm saying? Because that person is you, is the person next to you, the neighbor, it's you, but in a different vessel, a different, you know what I'm saying? The only thing difference between you and that person is the form that you both have, but the essence, the spirit, the God force within is the exact identical force, identical energy, identical. It's identical. It's like you're twins. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's not. But you're more identical than actual twins. It's you because you are you are the operant power. We just divided ourselves into many different beings, into many different bodies. But you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm talking to you guys, but I'm really talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta wish for your brother and sister the same thing that you would wish for yourself. Apply that law at all times as well. You know what I'm saying? And just use the cheat code. Don't be grateful that you're living, you're breathing, you're make that your point of happiness. And you can always be happy when you make existence, living, breathing. You'll always be happy when you make that your point of happiness. And then these things will come in. That whatever you're asking for has to come in because you're at a state of gratefulness. You know what I'm saying? But you're not making that thing. You see what I'm trying to say, G? It goes back full circle, but that's the key. You know what I'm saying? That's the key to everything is to not care. You know what I'm saying? It's going to present itself when it presents itself. Yeah, G, my bad.
I'm right. I'm writing everything you're saying. That's with a small description, of what you're saying. So you said something about residual. Yeah, I said residual means twofold or happening again. Residue can only come from something that preceded the residue, right? So it's a redoing, a reoccurrence.
Mm-hmm.
And I spell the word out for you. You can see dual means two, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And re means again. So it is um, a residual, something that you're seeing again that you saw before in your mind. So you mentioned that what we're seeing is a residual. It's what we saw in mind is now what we're seeing outwardly. So everything is a residual. That's what you were mentioning there. Everything that we see is a reoccurrence. It happened before, so we're living in the past, right? Sounds crazy, but we're living in the past state of mind, but we're living in it right now. Everything is an eternal now, but the past, the present, and the future is one eternal now. Everything is presently happening all at the same time or simultaneously. You said happiness is a state of being, not what happens to you. So it's a lifestyle. Whatever state you're in, it's that's how happiness. You should be happy in your mind, not what happens to you. So if you're waiting for something to happen to make you happy, then you're never going to be happy. So happiness starts from within, And I wrote, if you live in a state of happiness, then the signs of that state will follow as your outer expressions. So as we're saying today, signs follow, they do not precede. So your inner state will result in an outer projection. That outer projection or expression will be the sign that follow the inner state. So um, 100% correct right there. So I was kind of looking even deeper into the word individual. So that's what they call us. They call us individuals. But in that word is the word dual. So what is the word dual doing in the word individual? Because when we look at individual, when you break that word down, um, you know, as we know it, when we talk to each other and whatnot, we see it as just you being you. It's just you, one. You're that only person. But it's amazing how they have it spelled the way it's spelled, individual. And the word divine, you can say, is in that word, individual. So laden within each and every one of us is a divine being, which then makes our essence or our makeup a dualship, two, an outer and an inner. We have an inner self and an outer self. So we are a dual um, nature, as in the dual nature of consciousness. Everything is relative. Consciousness is a dual nature. All right. Consciousness is a dual nature. It's something that has a conscious and a subconscious. So everything that expresses from consciousness has to have a duality to it, which is really interesting, isn't it? Because everything is made in the image and likeness of consciousness. Everything is made in the image and likeness of consciousness. So if consciousness has a dual nature, everything that it expresses has to have a dual nature with it, just the same, because everything is made in its image and likeness. Has to be just like it. This is why when you stand in front of a mirror, what does the mirror reflect? You know, the mirror gives back what you first gave it. The mirror is giving you your state, your image and likeness thereof. Okay? It's giving back the same image that you're feeding it. So whatever comes from you has to be just like you. It may not look like you in the sense where you create uh, a car or some kind of invention or whatever. It may not look like you, you know, but the likeness is going to operate in the same manner that you had imagined it to operate. It cannot be any other way. So even if it's flawed, it has to be your doing. If it comes out flawed, it's because you had a flawed insight and you created it the way that you saw it. But then you realize, oh, so it didn't have this one thing is missing. It's like you create a gun. The first gun never have no safety on it. All you cared about was firing the gun, and you realize, oh shoot, this thing can fire, unintentionally. If I drop it or if I handle it the wrong way. So now you go back and say, what can I create now to prevent that? Oh yeah, a safety switch, and you go back and you redo it. So everything always is always going to be made in your image and likeness. It's going to operate exactly how you first operated here in mind. And it could be flawed or it could operate seamlessly. It all depends on how you saw it and carried it out, you know. But um, as I say, everything is always a dual ship. You have to do something first here. That's number one. And then the outward appearance is the dual, the second, the reappearance. As scripture say, they're coming again. It first come here, then it come again in the outer world. All right. So there's no coming again of no savior. The only savior that comes again is the savior that you internalize here, and it comes again outwardly. That's how it saves you. Starts here, then it projects out here. And that's the coming again of the Savior. Okay? No Savior coming from the skies. The only sky that exists is here, between these temples. Okay? That's the sky that this Lord from above is coming down from. All right? So we can get so much deeper into that. But um, love that addition right there, G. Very true. As we're saying here, signs follow, they cannot precede. Everything is incumbent upon your internalization of your conversations, our beliefs, or what you find to be true to you. They must project outwardly as signs that followed your inner convictions. All right. So, anyone else before we go? Certy still busy, so just want to tell him, safe trip, full joy yourself, have fun, and see you on your return. But we'll stay in contact nonetheless. To everyone else, we have Larry, Stacy, Natara, we have Laurencia, G, have another iPhone. Not sure who that person is, but thank you all for being here. Kind of went a little bit over the time, but we had some little hiccups earlier with the internet. Oh, there goes my boy Divine. What's up, D? Speaking about Divine. Uh-oh, who's that? No, no. Hey, Nova. uh, I see you got your fraternal twins born on different years. I never seen two kids look alike so much that are not even born in the same year, you know? Crazy. But two beautiful kids there, his and her, you know? Um, Divine and Miss Nova over there. Yeah, man. You know, living from their perfect state right now. Unaware of any nonsense about God in the sky and, you know, an outer God and things being impossible. These kids live from everything is possible. You know, they don't know any doubt except for what you instill in them. You know, it's really amazing. But as scripture says, unless you become like a child again, you will not enter in to the kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven is your consciousness that is always with you. Once you go outside, you have lost your way. Stay inside, and you will always get to where you want to get to. All right. So that's it, guys. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of your sunny Sunday. And we will continue again next week with another amazing chapter of this wonderful service slash program that we have every week. The one great I am awakening. Stay away, guys. Peace and love. Love you all. Bless. Over now.